crossing the T's, dotting the I's, investigating, being patient, waiting for the right evidence to come forward, and ultimately executing the takedown, when the time came. I want to thank law enforcement for putting their lives on the line to go toe-to-toe with these dangerous gang members, and our prosecutors. We've been pushing hard to get our prosecutors in the special risk retirement program because they're often the last face a dangerous person sees in trial before they go away for a long time. They also have to review horrific evidence in many cases. It takes a toll on somebody. We need our prosecutors. They do the Lord's work, and it's an honor to serve them every single day on this job. So with that, I will turn it over now to FDLE Special Agent Lawson.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all for being here. Good morning. My name is Eli Lawson. I'm a Special Agent in charge here with FDLE's Fort Myers region. A few years ago in 2022, I stood alongside a lot of these same people, Office of Statewide Prosecution, Sheriff Steve Whidden from Hendry County, and our federal partners at Homeland Security and FBI to announce the arrests in Operation 13 Tiers, a case that helped set the tone for Florida's fight against fentanyl. Now, 3 years later, we have some significant developments that we want to share as the case is ongoing. The success of this case in all these years is the culmination to highlight diligent police work, significant seizures, comprehensive resource management, and great partnerships. In October 2022, FDLE agents coordinated with numerous law enforcement partners to dismantle drug trafficking organization that began in South California called the SUR 13. This investigation sought to interfere with the criminal network that was pumping hundreds of pounds of narcotics and nearly 50 pounds of fentanyl into Florida communities. Our investigation identified the leader of the gang as a Florida prison inmate named Carlos Martinez, who had operated the network to distribute the drugs across the country, including here in Florida. The investigation cut off the flow into our community, seizing 380 pounds of methamphetamine, 48 pounds of fentanyl, and 45 firearms, amongst a whole variety of other narcotics. This case represents more than 10,000 investigative hours of just FDLE personnel alone, as well as extensive work by our FDLE laboratories. It does not represent our partners in all their commitment, which was also countless man-hours on this case. Nearly every member of our Fort Myers region worked on this case and was supported by our offices in Tampa, Orlando, Pensacola, and Tallahassee. Their work carried through the case through the years and the court proceedings that have brought us here. And to put things in perspective, this amount of fentanyl, 48 pounds of fentanyl, is a significant amount, not really a small portion in the flow of narcotics. Nearly 10 million people. Now, I want to talk a moment about our partnerships in this case. Cases like this are not possible alone in law enforcement. We have to partner with our strong partners here. These cases are lengthy, they're expensive, they take a lot of manpower. But Florida law enforcement recognized a few years ago what fentanyl's impact was going to be in this state, and we wanted to get in front of it. I want to particularly thank the Department of Homeland Security and Homeland Security Investigations, because without them, this case would not have been possible. This case is what's brought us to a state initiative called the State Assistance for Fentanyl Eradication, or SAFE. This case with SAFE in 2023, with the help of Governor DeSantis and the Florida legislature, offered grants to law enforcement to combat fentanyl trafficking throughout the state of Florida. In this time, just in that short period of time to today, statewide, 2,500 arrests, more than 560 pounds of fentanyl, more than 590 pounds of cocaine, 900 firearms, and over $6 million in cash have been seized. This is the single most effective drug program that I've been a part of in almost my 30 years with Florida Department of Law Enforcement. We want to highlight, too, this case. In another announcement that we're here to make is in 2022, in our first press conference, we announced 24 arrests and 1 fugitive. I'm happy to say we've come full circle. Just this weekend on the 7th, we arrested the 25th and final fugitive in this case, Efren Baruman. Mr. Baruman was sought for the entirety of these 3 years. Our agents and our analysts worked diligently ever since the original arrests were made to locate him. And then just this weekend, with the help of Osceola County Sheriff's Office, he was located in Osceola County and apprehended, taken into custody. He will now be extradited to Hendry County, where he is facing charges there of conspiracy to traffic in methamphetamine, trafficking in methamphetamine, conspiracy to traffic in fentanyl, and trafficking in fentanyl, all first-degree felonies. While 3 other individuals have now gone through their court proceedings, there are others remain. We're confident with the excellent work of our Office of Statewide Prosecution in the Attorney General's office that all 25 of these men and women will be brought to justice. And finally, I just want to say, our part of our mission, safeguarding Florida, FDLE continues to be part in keeping Florida a law and order state and a safe place for Floridians. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I think it's important to recognize how impactful this work to combat fentanyl is. I'm just about a year on the job, maybe today or next week, a year in this role. When I took the job, I'm traveling the state, talking to sheriffs, talking to our law enforcement leaders, and the message I was getting over and over and over again is fentanyl is the new warfare. Fentanyl was top of mind. It is getting into communities that, are not drug-using communities. It's getting into kids that are not drug-using kids. It's laced in lesser drugs like marijuana, and it kills people in very small doses. This is the new warfare. It's coming over the border. A lot of it's coming from China. I'm now getting calls from all over the state in just a year that the fentanyl cases are plummeting. Now, part of that is federal government finally shut down the border, protected our country, our sovereignty for once and for all, ensuring public safety. But it's also because of the work that FDLE and law enforcement's doing. Our legislature, thankfully, has heightened penalties to send a message. If you're dealing fentanyl, you're going to go away for a while. If you're dealing fentanyl and ultimately it leads to somebody dying, you're going to go away for a very, very long time, if not the rest of your life. So, again, job well done. I really appreciate law enforcement taking this seriously, and the results are speaking for themselves. All right. Hendry County, Captain Donald Weathers.
Thank you, sir. Good morning. On behalf of Sheriff Whidden, we are proud to recognize the success of Operation 13 Tiers and the collaboration that made it possible. This 2-year operation demonstrated that it can be achieved with agencies working together with a single purpose. Through shared intelligence, coordinated efforts, and unified mission, this operation came together seamlessly. The Hendry County extends its sincere appreciation to our partner agencies who made this operation possible. Florida Department of Law Enforcement, Homeland Security, the Federal Bureau of Investigations, the Sheriff's Office of Lee, Highlands County, and Polk County, the Fort Myers Police Department, and especially to the Office of the Statewide Prosecution. It should be clearly stated that no single agency could have achieved this alone due to the size of the criminal organization and the many jurisdictions it involved. Operation 13 Tiers exemplifies a power of interagency cooperation and what it accomplishes. On behalf of Sheriff Whidden and the Hendry County Sheriff's Office, thank you to our partnership, your teamwork, and your unwavering commitment to the public safety. The success of this operation belongs to all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll have from HSI, John Yancey.
Thank you, sir. Yes, my name is John Yancey. I'm the resident agent in charge with Homeland Security Investigations here for the Southwest Florida area, based out of Fort Myers. Homeland Security Investigations is the investigative branch of the Department of Homeland Security. We do high-level criminal investigations. We also do immigration enforcement. And one of the best ways that we can accomplish the goals that we have, making our community safe, is through the great partnerships that you see represented here by this team. And I'd like to just say how much we appreciate that. The Attorney General is a great partner, statewide prosecutor, FDLE, all the agencies that you see represented here and that you've heard people speak about. Like the Attorney General commented earlier, I can't say how much I appreciate being able to work in Florida. It truly is, a wonderful place to see that partnership highlighted. And I think this case is a perfect example of how that partnership can be as successful as possible, to keep our community safe. Fighting these transnational violent gangs is one of the top priorities of our agency. And again, this case is a perfect example of that. Many of these gang members, if not all of them, shouldn't have even been in the country. So we are so proud to have them off our street and look forward to having them out of our country. Thank you all.
All right, amen. And then last but not least, Tim Donnelly, Statewide Prosecution.
Good morning, everyone. There's not a whole lot I can say because the cases are still pending, and we look upon the success of the operation by the convictions. We're not going to stop with the arrest. And the prosecutors in my office have been slogging through depositions and motions for the last 3.5 years and trying cases. I want to thank the Attorney General for his direction and his support in every endeavor that we do in that office. He's been fantastic. And all of these agencies have helped us along the way, and we've been there with them from the beginning. And even as we go through the trials after the arrest, they are still there doing everything that we ask of them to do. The Attorney General has made it clear to us, our mission here. These are dangerous drugs. We are prosecuting these individuals for the protection of all Floridians. So our mission is we try them, the juries convict them, the judges sentence them. And we are going to keep doing that. The last one was arrested this weekend, and he is already charged. He's charged with, as I mentioned to you, conspiracy to traffic fentanyl, conspiracy to traffic methamphetamine, trafficking in meth, and trafficking in fentanyl. And we're talking about 100 pounds of meth and 2 kilos of fentanyl just in that one transaction that was part of this entire organization, where we took down over 400 pounds of meth and many, many, many kilos of fentanyl. So thank you to our partners, and I'd be remiss if I did not introduce the prosecution team here of Taryn Vaughn and Evan Ackley. They just secured a conviction. I can't talk much about it because we have sentencing coming up. And we had another individual that pled right before their case to 68 pounds of meth and a couple more kilos of fentanyl and 5,000 pills of fentanyl. So the next few years, we're going to keep slogging through the system until we get the outcome that the citizens of the state of Florida demand. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Tim and the team here in Fort Myers in this region pack a pretty heavy punch. They've got some strong cases. They do a good job. The taxpayers here in this area, they definitely get their money's worth and then some. So again, we can't talk too much about some of the details of these cases while they're pending. I'll just conclude by saying, I think we've shown here time and again in Florida, this isn't rocket science. If you work together, if you give law enforcement and the investigators the tools to be successful and let them do their jobs and then have their back, you deliver results. So thank you guys, law enforcement, for being here. We in Florida, we know what it means to put on that badge every day. All right, I think we got time for a couple questions, if there are any.
General Uthmeier, when this investigation started, there was also the time when Florida was basically ground zero for the drug overdose epidemic, the amount of people dying from fentanyl. That seems to have dramatically changed. We're seeing significantly fewer people die now from fentanyl. You mentioned yourself, fentanyl cases are dropping. Do you feel like maybe the state has turned a corner in combating fentanyl?
I do feel that way. Now, we're still looking at 2025 data. It's coming in. We're assessing it. I hope we have some positive things to report very soon. But when I took office last February, we were at 50-year crime lows in this state. I was like, man, if it goes up even a tick, I'm in real trouble. But we've continued to drive them even lower, and that's with a growing population. That's with more capital coming into the state, trends that typically are associated with crime. People that want to cheat and steal and hurt others, they're going to follow wealth and people. And nevertheless, even with Florida's growth and economic success, our crime rates are going down, and it's because our prosecutors get it, our law enforcement get it. We put bad guys away, and we put them away for as long as possible. You see these lenient sentences in other jurisdictions, these tragic, horrific murders on trains and, in other states. It's barbaric. But these people have reoffended again and again and again. We don't tolerate that here. So, yes, short answer is we're seeing great positive results. Drug overdoses are down, deaths are down, fentanyl's down. I hope we have some very hard numbers to show for that here soon. But it's a positive trend that I think is due in part to closing down the border, but also because of the work these guys do. Sends a message. Yes, ma'am.
The first name you announced for this arrest, Franklin Laura, you mentioned he'd been arrested. Where and how was he arrested?
I don't know if I'm allowed to answer that, am I? Tim, if you want to jump in, I get myself in trouble all the time on my own, so I don't want to do it anymore.
Mr. Laura has actually been convicted. He was convicted last week. These two fine young prosecutors tried that case. He will be sentenced next month. The minimum he's looking at is 25 years in Florida State Prison, up to 120 years in Florida State Prison. So he was arrested 3 years ago. He was convicted last week.
And it's 25 total have been arrested as part of this larger operation?
Correct.
Yeah.
All 25 that were charged in a 64-count information that included all first-degree felonies of racketeering, drug trafficking with 15 and 25-year minimum mandatories, conspiracy to commit murder. They have all been arrested, and we have been in the process of trying them the last couple of years.
Anybody else? All right. Thanks, everybody. That was not the first, locality
Scribe is how you stop explaining the same thing over and over at work. Watch this. It'll change your life. Raise your hand if you told your boss how to do the